There's something electric about waking up before the sun rises. It's not about being better than anyone else. It's about being better than who you were yesterday. I've walked red carpets and I've slept on set floors. What separates the good from the great? It's the hustle you choose when nobody's watching. At 4 a.m. the world is quiet, but inside you a fire is raging. That silence is where dreams are carved into reality. It's where intentions become actions. Waking up at 4 a.m. is not a punishment, it's a privilege. It's not about losing sleep, it's about gaining life. So wake up, not just your body, but your purpose. If you want to conquer the world, start by conquering your morning. Because queens don't wait for opportunity, they wake up at 4 a.m. and create it. Discipline builds dreams isn't just a catchy phrase, it's the silent engine behind every true success story. In a world that celebrates overnight fame and instant gratification, the truth is that real achievement is built brick by brick, day by day, in the quiet moments when no one is watching. Discipline is the ability to show up, even when motivation has long left the room. It's about choosing long-term growth over short-term comfort. Dreams don't become reality just because you want them badly. They come to life because you work for them relentlessly. Think about the early hours of the morning when the world is still asleep. That's when discipline speaks the loudest. When your alarm goes off at 4 a.m., it's not your dream that gets you out of bed, it's your discipline. Dreams may inspire you, but discipline is what makes you lace up your shoes, open your books, practice your craft, or show up to work again and again, even when no one's clapping. Discipline isn't about being perfect, it's about being consistent. You don't need to do everything right. You just need to keep going. Over time, these small acts compound. The 10 pages you read, the 30 minutes you train, the morning you resist the snooze button, all of it adds up. It shapes your mindset, sharpens your skills, and sets you apart. That's how dreams are built, not in a single leap, but in 1,000 steps. And discipline is the force that keeps your feet moving. So the next time you're tempted to quit or postpone your goals, remember, every moment of discipline brings you one step closer to the life you've imagined. Dreams are built in the dark hours with quiet work and an unshakable will. Waking up at 4 a.m. gives you something most people don't have: an edge. Not just a time advantage, but a mindset advantage. In those early hours, the world is silent. No notifications, no traffic, no chaos. Just you, your thoughts, and your goals. It's a rare window of clarity where you can focus on what truly matters before the noise of the day begins. That stillness isn't emptiness, it's power. It's the perfect time to think, plan, train, and create without interruption. When you rise at 4 a.m., you're ahead, literally and mentally. While others are still in bed, you've already put in the work. Whether it's reading, exercising, writing, or working on your craft, those quiet hours allow you to make progress while the rest of the world sleeps. That feeling of accomplishment before sunrise, that's your edge. It builds confidence, consistency, and momentum that carries through the entire day. More than that, waking up early sets the tone for discipline. It's a choice you make when it's not easy. That discipline shapes your identity. Someone who doesn't wait for perfect conditions, someone who moves with purpose. This habit becomes a silent declaration. You are serious about your life, your goals, and your growth. It's not just about productivity, it's about positioning. You start ahead and you stay ahead. Your mind is fresher, your energy is focused, and your intention is clear. You don't wake up at 4 a.m. to brag, you do it to build. You do it to create distance between who you are and who you used to be. The edge isn't in the hour itself, it's in what you do with it. And when you own 4 a.m., you start owning your life. Silence isn't emptiness, it's a powerful space where clarity is born. In a world filled with constant noise, notifications, opinions, and distractions, silence is rare. But within that rare space, something transformative happens. You begin to hear yourself, your real thoughts, your real desires, your real vision. When you wake up in the early hours, before the world starts moving, you enter a kind of stillness that sharpens your inner focus. There's no external chatter pulling your attention, no competition for your energy. It's just you and your purpose. In that silence, you can reflect deeply, plan strategically, and connect to the why behind your goals. Your vision becomes clearer not because you're trying harder, but because the noise has faded. Think of your mind as a lens. When it's cluttered with noise, everything is blurry. Your priorities, your direction, your passion. But silence is like a lens cleaner. It wipes away the mental fog and lets you see what truly matters. That's when new ideas surface, old doubts dissolve, and your path becomes more visible. This clarity isn't just philosophical, it's practical. Decisions made in silence tend to be more aligned, more intentional. You stop reacting and start choosing. You start creating from a place of purpose rather than pressure. In the silence of the early morning, you become your own guide. You reconnect with your ambition, not the version shaped by others, but the one born from within. And when you step into the rest of your day with that kind of vision, sharp, focused, and undiluted, you don't just move, you move with meaning. So embrace the silence. It's not a void, it's a gift. It's where greatness begins to speak. Silence is often misunderstood. People associate it with stillness, with doing nothing. But in reality, silence is one of the most powerful tools you have for clarity and growth. It's in silence that the noise of the world fades and the noise in your head settles. That's when your true thoughts start to surface. Your fears, your ambitions, your direction. It's where your vision becomes sharp and undeniable. When you wake up early, especially around 4 a.m., the silence around you creates space. Space to think, to breathe, and most importantly, to see, not with your eyes, but with your mind. You begin to see what matters. You start to filter out the unnecessary and focus in on your goals. There are no distractions, just intention. In a loud world, everyone is reacting, scrolling, replying, rushing, but those who choose silence are choosing reflection over reaction. They take time to understand where they're going before they start moving. That's how vision is sharpened. It's not guessed or copied. It's clarified in quiet moments when you're honest with yourself. Silence trains your mind to become still, alert, and observant. You begin to notice patterns in your thoughts, weaknesses in your plan, or sparks of creativity that would have been drowned out by the day's distractions. The best strategies, the boldest ideas, and the clearest goals are often born in those early, silent hours. It's not about being isolated, it's about being connected to your inner self, to your vision, to the life you're trying to build. Silence isn't a retreat, it's preparation, and when you emerge from it, your vision isn't vague, it's laser-focused. That's the power of silence. It doesn't shout, it reveals. Mastery doesn't come from one big decision. It comes from the small choices you make every single day, especially the ones you make in the morning. That's where momentum begins. Morning rituals aren't just routines, they are the foundation of who you're becoming. The way you start your day sets the tone for how you live your life. When you commit to a morning ritual, whether it's journaling, exercising, reading, meditating, or simply planning your day, you are doing more than just tasks. You're training your mind to be focused, intentional, and disciplined. These rituals may seem small, even ordinary, but repeated daily, they create extraordinary results. Think about it. The most successful people in the world don't leave their mornings to chance. They don't wake up and scroll through their phones or react to the world's demands. They start with clarity because clarity leads to action, and consistent action, done over time, leads to mastery. Every time you follow your morning ritual, you are proving to yourself that you are in control of your day, not the other way around. That kind of self-leadership builds confidence, it sharpens your skills, it keeps you aligned with your goals even when motivation fades. Mastery isn't reserved for the gifted, it's earned by the consistent. It's carved out of daily habits that seem simple but are powerful beyond measure. When you wake up and follow through on your rituals, you're not just preparing for the day, you're becoming the kind of person who doesn't quit. The kind of person who shows up, the kind of person who masters their craft, their mindset, and ultimately, their life. What you do in the first hour of your day is a reflection of your commitment to growth. That's where mastery begins. Waking up early is more than just a habit. It's a form of self-respect. It's a declaration that your time, your goals, and your well-being matter enough to be prioritized before the demands of the world take over. When you choose to rise early, you're sending a powerful message to yourself. I am in control of my life. I respect myself enough to make space for my growth. It's easy to hit snooze, to stay under the covers, to delay the day. But each time you do, you delay your progress. On the other hand, waking up early, even when it's hard, builds a sense of personal integrity. You're doing what you said you'd do, that builds trust with yourself. And that trust is the foundation of confidence. When you wake early, you give yourself the gift of time. Time to move slowly, to breathe, to prepare, to set your intention. You're not rushing into your day on someone else's terms. You're beginning it on your own. That's a profound act of self-care. It means your goals aren't an afterthought. They're a priority. There's also a mental shift that comes with early rising. It's not about punishment or grinding endlessly. It's about creating room to live consciously. You stop surviving the day and start designing it. You choose discipline over delay, purpose over procrastination. You don't have to wake up early to prove something to the world. You do it to prove something to yourself, that you are worthy of effort, that your dreams deserve a head start, that your life matters enough to be lived with intention from the moment the sun starts to rise. Waking up early isn't about being extreme. It's about being aligned with your goals, your values, and your highest self. Waking up early often gets misunderstood as a sacrifice, like you're giving up something essential, like sleep. But the truth is, you're not missing sleep, you're gaining power, real power, the kind that comes from choosing purpose over comfort, action over delay, and growth over stagnation. Yes, sleep is important, but so is time. So is control over your own day. When you intentionally rise early, you reclaim hours that would otherwise slip away unnoticed. You step into a space where you are no longer reacting to life. You are creating it. That choice, repeated day after day, gives you something that sleep alone never could, a sense of command, clarity, and forward motion. Those quiet morning hours are your secret weapon. They allow you to prepare, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. While the world is still asleep, you're building momentum. You're training your mind, strengthening your body, fueling your creativity, and setting intentions that ripple through everything you touch. You may be exchanging a little comfort, but you're receiving something far more valuable: focus, confidence, and consistency. Over time, those early hours stack up. They become the reason you finish the project, stay ahead of deadlines, meet your goals, and grow beyond your limits. You're not dragging yourself through exhaustion. You're choosing a life of purpose. Waking up early isn't about deprivation. It's about elevation. You're not losing sleep. You're gaining strength, strategy, and the space to move with intention. This isn't about hustle for the sake of hustle. It's about realizing that every morning you rise early, you're not falling behind. You're stepping into your power, and once you start owning that time, you start owning your life.